First of all, to anyone who cares, I apologize. Last week I missed my self-set quota of 2 videos per week, by 2. There are 2 reasons why that was. First of all, I was very busy preparing for this Nepal thing, and second of all, for some reason YouTube has stopped processing all of the videos that I upload in DV format. Actually, while we're on the topic of unlikely conspiracies, I need to point one thing out. All of my ex-girlfriends drive Volkswagens. So yeah, I think that means I'm blaming the Germans for my perpetual bachelorhood. Which means I have a lot more in common with the French than I'd like. They blame the Germans for everything. Actually, now that I think about it, I can't believe they haven't blamed the Germans for the current pension reform debacle that's going on in Paris right now. Anyhow, the second and meatier part of this video is an address to Nerimon. Hi, Alex. I guess I won't really know if you watch this or not, but here it is. I don't know if you're expecting the video that you just uploaded about your atheism to generate, like, huge amounts of controversy. I mean, it's classic advice that to be polite and be uncontroversial, you avoid the topics of politics or religion, but that's stupid. A little while ago, I read a book called Why the Rest Hates the West, and it was a deconstruction of Western society looking for our values, or as the author called them, the anti-values of the West, that makes us so utterly incomprehensible and threatening to the rest of the world. Now, the author explored different facets of Western culture, but I think the one that he hit on that really struck a nerve with me was his discussion of tolerance. And what the author said is tolerance, or the tolerance that we in the West profess to hold up as a virtue, is not real tolerance. Tolerance is what happens when you live in a society alongside different worldviews and you coexist, but you don't hide. Whereas in the modern West, we are asked to keep our religious and to a lesser extent political ideals and values under a rock somewhere where they're not going to offend anyone. And I just think that's the wrong way to go. So if it's okay with everyone, I would like to make a statement of my belief. This is something I've been meaning to do for a little while on my vlog, but your video today reminded me that I hadn't quite done that. So here it is. I am a Christian humanist who is strongly informed by deism. I hesitate to say this next part because there are so many New Agers running around all about this and they really miss the point, but I am very heavily influenced by Taoism, the Chinese philosophy. Not religious Taoism, because religious Taoism is a hodgepodge of basically every religion on the planet. But yes, my view of the world has been strongly affected by Taoism, and I'll just leave it at that for now. I should say that I am a Christian, but I am not a creationist. The world has been around for much longer than 10,000 years, and God does not sit on a golden throne in the clouds with a long white flowing beard. The Bible is a religious text, but also a historical text in the same way that Herodotus is. Which is to say that I don't necessarily believe that Adam and Eve literally existed, that Noah built a boat and survived a flood, or that Samson killed exactly 300 Philistines with the jawbone of an ass. I mean, it could have been 290, or it could have been 304. Point is, man killed a lot of Philistines. Actually, never mind. The point even wasn't that he was a badass. The point is that he got his power from God, but that's something completely different. So, I'm not here to disagree with you. I'm here to tell you where I stand, and to thank you for making it clear where you do, because not enough people do that. I mean, I know it wasn't really a secret that you were an atheist before, but you talked about it today, and it reminded me that I wanted to talk about where I stood. And I do identify with what you're saying very strongly. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a skeptic, mostly because I don't think skeptics would call me a skeptic. I don't think Richard Dawkins would have much time for me, for example, because I happen to believe in a historical Jesus, even despite the fact that I can recognize the magic of evolution. And your puzzle analogy actually reminded me of a conversation I had with my father years ago. My father's a very open-minded sort of man, so at the end of our conversation we had kind of constructed 2 parallel worlds. And these 2 worlds were just neighboring houses. And in the first world, God walked in and he built all of the furniture for that house individually custom made for every situation that you would ever need furniture in that house. So the cabinets were there and the dining room tables were there and then the bathroom fixtures were all there and it was great. But in the second house, there was only a single-celled organism in the corner of one of the bedrooms, and over the course of time, that one single-celled organism evolved into all of the furniture that that house needed. And that single-celled organism eventually filled all of the furniture niches in that house. The dining room, the kitchen, the bedrooms, the living room, and it's incredible. So much more incredible than the first house where the carpenter just built everything for its custom job. Because what happens if there's a fire in the kitchen and it damages everything in there? Well, then the carpenter has to come in and he has to rebuild. But in the second house, if something kills something in that niche, more furniture will evolve to fill that spot. The world is a self-correcting system, and it is so incredible, and we are just so privileged to live here, whether we evolved here randomly or if God decided to plunk us down. So I just wanted to say thanks for making your statement of belief and allowing me to make my statement of belief, and it's my hope that as we live on this planet and we spend more time getting to know each other and the world around us, that we would just become more and more awed with every mystery that we solve. And that's basically all I have to say about that. Now, this video is going to end up being a little bit longer than my typical 5-minute goal, and if that's true, I apologize, but I don't really want to cut anything out of it because I don't want to, I guess, undermine what I'm trying to say by eliminating something kind of integral to the reasoning and this, that, and everything else. So I'll end this now as to not push the length up any further, and goodbye.